guys, you're watching WTFG Studios. We talk films and games. Sir Alfred Joseph Hitchcock is widely regarded as one of the most influential filmmakers in the history of cinema. His career spanned 6 decades and featured over 50 films, garnering 46 Oscar nominations and 6 wins.
Thank you.
While Hitchcock began his career as a title card designer, he broke into directing scene with the British-German silent film The Pleasure Garden in 1925. However, he shot to fame in 1927 with The Lodger, a story of the London fog, a film that's considered to have shaped the thriller genre. Dubbed the master of suspense, audiences flocked to watch Hitchcock's films, especially at driveway cinemas back in the day. Here are 10 thrillers of his that we consider must-see. Number 10. The Birds. Based on the 1952 short story of the same name by Daphne du Maurier, The Birds is a classy example in slow burn horror. It revolves around a series of random, unexplained bird attacks taking place in Bodega Bay, California over the course of a few days. The film still proves to be a tense and thrilling watch to this day, and it amazes me how Hitchcock was able to create such terrifying villains out of crows and gulls. A remake is said to be in development, but I doubt it will be able to hold a candle to Hitchcock's original. Number 9. The Lady Vanishes. The film, based on the 1936 novel The Wheel Spins by Ethel Lena White, is about a beautiful English tourist named Iris, played by Margaret Lockwood, who finds that her elderly travel companion has seemingly disappeared from the train. When other passengers denied having seen her, Iris, along with the musicologist Gilbert, played by Michael Redgrave, sets out to solve the mystery behind the lady's disappearance. This is the last flick that Hitchcock made in his native England before he was asked to fly over to Hollywood. More than 80 years later, the film still stands as a splendid attempt in suspense, romance, and comedy. Number 8. Shadow of a Doubt. Considered the personal favorite of Hitchcock himself, Shadow of a Doubt is a chilling psychological thriller. The film tells the story of a young woman named Charlie, played by Teresa Wright, who begins to suspect her uncle, also named Charlie, played by Joseph Cotten, to be a serial killer. In those times, Cotten was well known for playing the friendly protagonist, and Hitchcock's idea of fondling with typical viewer expectations certainly paid off. The film has found its rightful place in the National Film Registry of the United States. Number 7. Strangers on a Train. Hitchcock's adaptation of Patricia Highsmith's 1950 novel, starring Farley Granger and Robert Walker, is a stylishly made psychological thriller featuring a nail-biter of a finale. It wasn't well received at the time of its release, but the film has aged well with Hitchcock's sophisticated choices, becoming case studies in several film schools. Strangers on a Train is slightly too twisted in its murder mayhem storyline, but it encouraged numerous other films in the genre such as Blood Simple, Fargo, and Gone Girl in the later years. Number 6. Rope. A sensational adaptation of a claustrophobic play by Patrick Hamilton, Rope is a well-crafted psychological crime thriller. A couple of boastful murderers host a casual dinner party to celebrate the successful strangling of their former Harvard University classmate. When James Stewart enters the scene playing their prep school housemaster, the story takes interesting turns and suspicions begin to loom. Paced just right, the film has been edited to appear like it was shot in a single take in real time. It's a gimmick that many films adopted later on, including Birdman and 1917, to name a few. Number 5. Dial M for Murder. This mystery thriller was based on the screenplay and successful stage play of the same name by English playwright Frederick Knott. It follows the aesthetics of a stage production, with the story unraveling in an apartment filled with fabulous monologues and suspense-filled twists. When Tony, an English tennis player, discovers his wife's affair with an American writer, he decides to murder her both for revenge and to resume living his luxurious life funded by her. What follows forms the crux of the movie. The film was originally intended to be shown in a dual-strip polarized 3D, but the plan was later scrapped. Number 4. Rear Window. The reason why Rear Window works so well is because of its remarkable character sketches. Considered by many to be Hitchcock's greatest film, Rear Window received 4 Academy Award nominations and is also one of my favorite films of the master director. A murder mystery thriller about a wheelchair-confined professional photographer who supposedly witnesses a murder in a nearby apartment, Rear Window is an out-and-out showcase of directorial brilliance. What's more, Hitchcock extracts solid performances from both James Stewart and Grace Kelly, making their characters in the film enduringly memorable for viewers. Number 3. North by Northwest. I'm guessing this film is the biggest crowd pleaser in Hitchcock's filmography. The screenplay for North by Northwest was written by Ernest Lehman, whose intention was to come up with the Hitchcock picture to end all Hitchcock pictures. The film revolves around a classic case of mistaken identity with an innocent man named Roger Thornhill, played by Cary Grant, chased across the United States by agents of a mysterious syndicate. North by Northwest is remembered for many things: the use of kinetic typography in its opening credits, the distinct costume styles including Cary Grant's famous grey suit, and of course its detailed screenplay. Number 2. Vertigo. Often looked at as one of the deepest and defining works of Hitchcock's film career, you'd be surprised to know that Vertigo was a commercial failure at the time of its release. Over the years, the film achieved cult status and found its way into mainstream pop culture and various film schools. Vertigo is the first film to employ an in-camera effect known as dolly zoom, which distorts perspective. This was done to signify the acrophobia the film's lead character, Scotty, played by James Stewart, suffers from. What makes the film work includes Bernard Herrmann's soul-stirring musical performance and Robert Burke's cinematography, apart from the unusual character selection from James Stewart. Number 1. Psycho. Many filmmakers and enthusiasts believe that Psycho marks the beginning of modern horror. Hitchcock even went the extra mile to convince theatre chains in America to disallow anyone from entering the halls once the screening began, so as to keep the plot and suspense intact. The scream of the audiences in that terrifying shower scene becomes as popular as the film itself. It turned out to be the most profitable black and white sound film ever, and till date remains relevant as a pop culture phenomenon. Psycho is simply Hitchcock at the top of his game, and it serves as the big daddy of shock cinema. There you have it, folks, 10 Hitchcock thrillers that you shouldn't miss in this lifetime. If you enjoyed watching, please like the video, share it in your movie-loving circles, and stay subscribed to the channel for more interesting film updates. Ciao!